One of the things that's poisonous about our politics is the use of the criminal law process as a political weapon. And both sides, to some extent, are guilty of this, and instead of just debating ideas, they want to label their adversary as a criminal, and they, pore over the U.S. code to try to find some kind of esoteric argument as to why what someone does is a crime, and then get it in a criminal investigation. And then they start calling for scalps. So, nowadays I'm constantly hit. Why aren't people going to prison for what they did to the president? On the other side, throw Bill Barr in prison. And these things take time. These things take time.
AG Barr says that there are some things that were done in the investigation that are not included in the Horowitz report. He's looking at Brennan. He's looking at other Obama officials. How far up the line do you think this went?
I think it went right to the top. And I think that what they did is they started my election. What they did is so illegal, like in history, there's never been anything like this. They tried to defeat me before I got elected, and then the insurance policy kicked in. You remember the famous insurance policy? If he wins, we'll go get him here. And that happened. There has never been a thing like this. If this were reversed and this was Obama, President Obama, where this happened to, people would be in jail right now for 50-year terms and 100-year terms. I will tell you, we have a great attorney general. He's highly respected. He's a highly ethical man. He's doing a fantastic job. Let's see how it all comes out.
These things take time.
So it is to the printing press, to the recorder of man's deeds, the keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive.
Wednesday, January 2020. January what, 29th? Is it already? Yeah, January 29th. Welcome all Patriots into the room. I see you guys coming in. Got a couple hundred so far, unless I'm not refreshed here. But it's going to be a great morning. We're going to be doing call-ins. I got Woodman. We got Ben. We're going to jump right over to them here in a minute. Just had a few things I wanted to put out. We are looking to do a test later this week. It would be a remote test from the event site, the Legion. We're moving forward every week on things, folks. And I'm also currently still working on the next little batch of emails coming out to the Patriot Fest 2020 at gmail.com. That's Patriots with an S, Patriots, Fest, F-E-S-T 2020. Literally the writing 2020, don't spell it. And then at Gmail. I'm sure Grillin's got that all put up with the address and everything. He'll slam it up here for you in the chat room. And welcome again. Good morning to all Patriots far and wide joining the broadcast. This is the Patriot Wednesday call-in for the members, for the subscribers, just for the patriots out there, all right? We'll take every phone call, but due to high volume call, we need to limit those at our discretion. If don't take any offense if we kind of jump in and cut you off, but we just want to get to as many as possible. We got about an hour to do so. So without any further ado, let's get the panel in here. We got Ben and Woodman Brothers. Morning.
Good morning.
Airborne, everybody. How we doing?
All right.
Doing good. Excited this morning's show for some call-ins.
Yes.
All right.
Again, no narratives. I did see Trump had a rally last night. I got to catch a little bit of it here and there. So again, folks, moving forward, we're always going to keep an eye on. There's lots of great things said, lots of things said not so great through the Trump years. Now we're going on, the third year into the fourth, coming up on the election. You really do need to just keep an eye on these people. We don't know these people by any kind of relation. All we ever have had with these people is through the TV screen. We know how manipulating that can be. But all we can do is I'm not saying just watch, but yeah, if that's all you are in life as a watcher, you need to keep a close eye on these people. It's important what they say. Words do matter. And you always got what they've said at one point, and then you got what they come back and say, and then you got what they do. So there's always that, what's the old common saying, don't, judge somebody by...
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, or their words, their actions speak louder than words, maybe?
Their words,
is that a big one?
For sure. Behavior is a huge thing, yes, I agree.
So, there's been times Trump's then said things that has offended me, things I don't like. I'm not a huge supporter of executive orders, for example, because that's just something I'm not a huge fan of. But if you look at the details of executive orders sometimes, but I had no issues with like the, border or starting the human trafficking things. It was like, yeah, if nobody else is going to get off their ass. But no, I'm not such in favor of other ones. We were just discussing that. Pre-garage
it's a hammer. You could use it for many different things. We know that it's a unilateral piece of action that the executive branch can use, and they have used this hammer we call executive orders for many years, for good things, for bad things. And it's like what Mike was talking about, all this kind of stuff. It could have been done a long time ago. Why hasn't it? Well, the powers in be were using these tools and mechanisms for their own personal gain, benefit, whatever you want to call it. And so, we're always keeping a close eye on what's happening, not only domestically, but on a foreign level as well. And that's, even here in the chat room, we got guys out from I believe it was across the pond right now. We've got people out from Dublin coming in, Ireland. So we got you guys from all over the earth coming in, and you guys understand what we're talking about. It's like, man, I don't have tea with the president, and we don't talk golf or whatever. I don't know the guy, and so it's like, and it's like, I know you guys pretty well, but even that aspect, it's like, I don't know you 100%. Like, I know what you're thinking all the time. It's like, wow, to assume that, you just got the good behavior. That's kind of.
What do you guys think? We'll get a little topic here before we jump in. Again, these call-in shows, and we'll make sure we get a good hour of it. So if we're talking for 5 or 10 in, don't think we're cutting away from that.
We're not going to cheap you guys out.
We're not going to cheap you on that hour. We are the number one call-in show, and we have a certain standard to uphold.
Voted number one call-in show on the YouTube broadcasting platform. I gotta say.
Let's talk about real quickly the gun situation. Now, I've heard words out of Trump's mouth on that I didn't like. I know even like a year ago, the one where he's like particularly sitting at a table, I believe with Pelosi. You have to see the full video to get the full context of this, folks. But there's Pelosi sitting there, I believe, with the head Republican, and Trump does talk about, well, I like your gun and grab idea. But if you look at that video, he'll say, I like the gun and grab first, ask questions later. Why don't you do that? And if you listen to that full thing, he ends up turning it to Pelosi and says, so why don't you do that? Because that's what you're talking about. Get with him, because that's what you're supposed to do. You guys come to some agreement. That's got to be the first step. Get a bill written up, and then it should come across my desk. And then, everyone flipped out, including myself. But then about 2 days later, he came out. I think he had a meeting with the NRA guy on Sunday. Literally, it came out in the paper. There was some dinner, lunch that he had. It wasn't advertised. They didn't have cameras in there. But then on Monday, he comes out. And this is all good a year ago. but he comes out and then they're questioning him. What about you? Go wanting to grab him? And people took that as him saying he was going to grab, but it was like, no, I told them. He's like, it's never going to happen. And it was like this turned troll thing. He really came out in support of the Second Amendment then that whole next week, and he was talking about they'll never do it, it'll never happen, you're going to keep your guns. So again, I beckon to, there's times like in the past with Clinton, she'd talk in secret to the bankers or to Wall Street. She'd set up trucks that put out blackout items so no cameras could record the conversations. And what do we know by the transcripts? She was telling them, you don't listen to when I talk to them on the main TV, that's different. When I'm here talking to you, I'm talking to you. So we know Trump, everything's in the limelight. Either he goes to Twitter or he's on the camera on one of those shows where he knows, and then he'll come to his rallies. And it's like, yeah, you can't ignore when he's not at a rally, but when he's at a rally, it seems like he says all the great things, and everyone's like, yeah, that's what we want to hear. So he's there saying it. Possibly. I don't know which one you go off of. It seems like there's a trolling Trump, there's a Trump talking to the people, and then there's times where he's messing with the news, but then days later he comes out and it's like, no, it's because he made a mistake and he said something that people didn't like. He felt it really quickly within a 24-hour period by the social stuff he's attached to, so therefore he's going to come out and say something to try to get it back. Maybe. I don't know. We do got to keep an eye on all that, folks. All I'm saying is I know I still got my guns. I'm not saying you wait until they're gone and then you bitch, because no, you got to look at the steps building up to that. But keep that in mind. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out as much as everyone else. We've come into this.
And like I said,
we're not Trump, per se Trump supporters. We are supporters of who's doing right. So if you do see the wrong, I don't agree with everything, folks. You can't at this. I don't know. I can't keep saying it's a game, and you got to just trust something that you don't see. You never do that blindly. But yeah, go ahead, Woodman Ben. You guys got something before we get to the calls?
Well, I was just saying, you brought a good point up. Is we don't follow a party. We think that's a false binary, if you will. We follow the Constitution and our original signers thought about. And it may not all be perfect in the experiment they created, and they may have had other subversive tactics by doing it. But like Mike said, we're still here. We're able to talk to you right now live, going across God's created earth right now to you guys, and you're all hearing us talk. So it's a wonderful thing, but in the same aspect, it's a great time to be alive, because we don't know these people. We don't know what their actions are. All we can do is see how this plays out. What can you do? Not sit in the couch and not just stay there. Talk to people, talk to neighbors.
There's people that have issue with the last executive order that he just did 2 days ago. It came up that I think Trump signed the one for bringing or allowing prayer to remain in schools. And I was like, I don't know if that is a forceful thing. Now, on the panel the other night, we had like American Joe. He disagreed. He's like, I don't like it because it's going to bring in all the other stuff. And I was like, okay, there's that. There is always that. But it's almost like the free speech thing. It's like if we were to lose free speech and then, Ben, they're bringing it back, man. And you're like, I don't know, man. There's a lot of bad talk that happens when you have that free speech, which we agree, right? I mean, you don't like it all. But what's the defense to somebody saying something you don't like, or a lie, if you want it banned, or do you just want to be able to respond back and counter punch their talk? I mean, what do you think's the right way?
And when you talk about the whole prayer thing, it's like, well, what prayer are you talking about? You're talking about the Muslim who follows the Quran, who prays 5 times a day towards the east, or is it the Christian who prays at lunch before his food? Is it the Catholic? Is it the Buddhist, the Baha'i? I mean, so if you're going to have this kind of thing, I totally get it. But the same aspect, if you think about what they're doing right now in our schools, they're only teaching one quote unquote religion. They're teaching evolution. They're not teaching creationism. And at least in school, you'd think you'd teach both sides and you come up with your own argument.
Yeah, what happened back in the day when you were young and that topic came up? Weren't there certain kids that would get pulled out of the class by notes from parents that didn't have to sit through some of the stuff that they taught? Now they just don't
because
teach
they didn't believe
these other
it.
things.
Yeah, now they don't.
So,
or like we remember bringing guns to school because you had during your
they had during high school and shooting clubs.
You had
after school, all the kids.
I'm all varsity. It's like now it's crazy.
Good point, man. So what do you think on that then? With we've had the separation of church and state, and everyone's open to their opinion, folks. We're not bashing, but this is where it gets into now. If you ruled the country and you would do what you wanted, and I think some people would I want religion brought back into school, but only Jesus to be taught. That's what because that's what I would want. Nothing else. Now is that, how do you do that? I mean, is that, that's
Well,
what,
got to equalize it out, but as long as you bring God in, that's the main focus point. If you do that, and that's what Trump is saying also, bringing God back in. Now, that right there kind of starts separating things, but you have to be honest, and you have to, even though we don't personally like the deep, dark side, you're always going to have dark and light, no matter
that's
what.
what we said. Even if you root out evil, you got to be cautious that it's trying to work its way back in. If you root it out somewhere, I mean, it's never gone.
It's a constant
So
virus.
I want to ban evil, and it's like, whoa.
Well, then they have the full armor of God. That's what we have. I mean, come on. That's, even though the Bible's been rewritten so many times and lost a lot of its oomph, but, if you kind of still use that for kind of like a semi-manual, you know what I mean? Sure can't go wrong that way. But now if you go the other way, then all of a sudden now you've jumped on board with them.
It's almost like the banning, do you want free speech?
Baby killing?
Do you want free speech, or are you for some speech, not hate speech? There's that whole little group, it's like there's free speech, or there's some people that think, I want free speech, but you shouldn't be able to do hate speech. Well, who decides that? And who's the judge and jury and executioner of telling who's what,
Well, I think it goes along the same thing. We have religious freedoms. I mean, the Constitution really clearly outlines the whole, should we have, church and state? Well, in the beginning, when the Constitution was actually derived from the church, part of the Second Amendment, if you read on it, it's also a well-organized and maintained militia. And 90% of the time, these militias in the early days of after the founding, they would gather after church, and the men's that were strong enough to shoot a rifle and ride a horse, and so when you talk about nowadays, that now we're not just a Judeo-Christian nation like we were primarily back in those days. We have a lot of other religious practicing individuals here. I mean, marrying church and state, it's almost like that church is, well, what church? Is it Church of Satanism? Church of, so you have that religion. And I think it would be a good thing, but they would have to change how long our children are in school. So, okay, cool. Church and state, then by noon, children are out of school for the day. They only go to half day now. And that half the day, you can go home and practice your religion. And if you have to do some morning stuff, okay, Mohammed can't be here in the morning. He has a prayer, so he can make up his thing. I mean, they do it all the time for dentist appointments. And, I mean, it's out there. But in the same aspect, it is a tipping point, because you don't know. There's so much religion involved in school. There's no quote-unquote indoctrination or education in public schools. So it is an interesting one.
Real quick, this is funny. It's got Trump, like, I guess last night on the stage, he did the holding a gun look.
I'm going to snipe him.
Trump on Virginia, gun confiscation not happening on my watch. Now, that's a pretty clear little statement if he said it in those words exactly as that says, right? During his January 28th, 2020 rally in Wildwood, New Jersey, President Donald Trump referenced the Democrat gun control push in Virginia and made clear that gun confiscation is not going to happen on his watch.
So here's what
So
he
Trump
said
says
exactly.
this in quote, it's got it in quote, "We will always protect the right to keep and bear arms, which is under siege." The crowd broke out in chants of USA, USA, USA. So
Hey.
there you go. Trump noted in Virginia, again quoting, "In Virginia, they want to take your guns away. It's just the beginning." He paused, the crowd booed, and then he added, "Never gonna happen as long as I'm president of the United States. That I can tell you." All right.
And how many of you guys watched the rally
Now people
last
can say
night?
he's lying.
Yep.
All those great words,
He's
that's a
lying.
lie. And let me point you back to a video from 18 months ago. Watch this. And then it's like, well, all right, what do you go off of? If he said something one time, possibly mocking, or can you be sure? This is where word experts will come in. It's like, well, your tweet a year ago, well, I meant this. I'll tell you what my tweets meant. Now let me tell you what Trump's meant as well.
All right.
It's kind of...
Let me
know
tell
who
you what he meant. Let me tell you
We've
what he
gone through
meant.
that one before.
You
All
know
right,
it.
the phone lines are open, folks. First
All
one to
right.
call.
Call
we
in.
did get the. We should be having the beep go away for calling in if you know,
No more beep beep.
but not right now. It'll probably be by next week's show.
Ooh, all right.
You're on the Patriot Hour. This is the panel. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, brothers?
What's going on, brother? What's
All right.
Sean from communist New Jersey, baby.
Sean from communist Jersey. What's going on, brother?
Comic Jersey.
I got a little update for you.
All
Talk
right.
to us.
Tuesday, the prosecutor called me, said she was releasing my property, apologized for waiting so long to get back to me.
All right. Fantastic.
She then calls me yesterday and says that the letter she sent the property, the police called her and said that they're refusing to release my property and I have to go talk to a sergeant detective. Now, considering I got caught with an AR-15, AR-10 gun mill that was made illegal in New Jersey last January, I had time to comply. Even though I was in the process of complying, I purposefully made that mill inoperable. You would have to take a micrometer and put it on the specially made router bit so that it comes out mil spec. But the router bit will not function. So now they got me with gun kits, you know, like I think I had an AR-10 upper and lower kit, some AR-15 like SBR, and
I just consider those
18-inch
firearm
barrel
accessories.
rifle. So now they're telling me I'm not going to get it back because they prevented me from complying with the new laws in January and then kept my stuff so long that it's now illegal to have.
Wow.
Now I'm
Wow,
worried
that's
if I'm going to
crazy.
walk in there and get charged.
Wow.
So they call to kind of, hey, you're fine. Come on down.
No.
Set you up.
But no, the guy from property told me that I would have to talk to this detective about why they're not going to return some of my property, which means they're keeping probably like $5,000 or $6,000 worth of kits
And if they can-
in my mill.
Yeah, if they're keeping things, the only way they could really keep things is if they're things that you're not supposed to be in possession of. I would assume.
I'm not a restricted owner.
Yeah, those what he's
And
talking about.
I
Those
was
are
abiding by the NFA regulations when it comes to manufacturing your own rifles. As long as they're X amount of length, I think it's 26.5 inches. As long as they're over that, they're not considered a pistol.
Yeah. Oh, lots of technicalities. Ben, you're probably more the expert in this little area. I mean, what do you think on
well,
all
I mean,
this?
it's interesting. Yeah, we've had the AR-15 and AR-10 pistols, but a lot of what he was talking about, like the uppers, is pretty much those are just considered, accessories. But when you attach them to a lower or a trigger mechanism, then they're considered a rifle, long rifle, or pistol. And every state is kind of a little bit different on the how you register, how you get them, and like when they took your stuff, man, they might have passed some state rows or resolutions or something, and you don't have this, and it just seems like they're just really messing with you,
my
brother.
governor did that back in January.
See, yeah, it just
Last
seems
January.
like
But I had everything before he passed the legislation.
So do you guys
So when
have
he
grandfather? You got grandfather laws or something put in play?
Well,
Or?
I guess we had a certain amount of time. I think it was a year to comply or surrender, or make inoperable.
Gotcha.
So I made that mill inoperable when I tweaked the bit so that it wouldn't process the aluminum.
Yeah, but you have to have that inspected by an actual, like you said, this detective's got to come to your mill and they got to do all that kind of good stuff. I mean, the bottom line is it's amazing that you can make homemade wine, but you can't make a homemade pistol to go do what you want to do with it. And
It's not a pistol.
I would say talk to a pro bono lawyer.
Every kit I got was set to be made over 26.5 inches. I wasn't making pistols.
Gotcha.
They were either short barrel rifles. I had an AR-10 in there so I could get back into hunting, and they took everything.
Now, that was a good question. Ben said, maybe, have you thought about a lawyer?
I already consulted with the former Attorney General of New Jersey, And he said
Okay.
that I was in the process of complying, even though there were no functional weapons in the box, per se, right?
Mm-hmm.
What he's saying is, I didn't even have a key when they arrested me. The key was already mailed out of state. I was trying to comply with the governor, and my former first sergeant was going to take everything to North Carolina and drop it off at my family's house. And then I was going to grab it on my way to Georgia because I had a $65,000 a year job offer that went away because of the gun charges. And eventually they had to drop the charges because I broke no crime. I broke no laws. I committed no crime. They were
I
forced
agree
to
with
drop
you.
the charges and drag their feet. So now I'm out of the compliance window, and they're going to try to seize a couple $1,000s worth of my stuff.
Yeah, I think a lawyer is going to come in and be your best bet now, because it sounds like you're going to have to be putting in a lot of legal motions and some subpoenas, and you're going to have to get into a little bit more legal. And unfortunately,
I understand I need a lawyer, but because I had open gun charges, I have been unable to work.
Yeah.
yeah, no, I get it. Well, I was saying,
I'm barely scraping by on my bills.
go down to your local courthouse there and go down to the lobby area. Usually, it's where the secretaries are asked, and ask them if they have any paperwork for any personal pro bono lawyer law firm. Lawyers have to keep their bar certification. They have to give so many pro bono or free hours out of the year to retain their license.
Being
So
that you're a
normally
veteran, you
even
might
if
be
you're
able
a veteran,
to. Being that you're a veteran, being
courthouse.
that you're a veteran, you might get one that just off that. Like, okay, I like to help veterans. This seems like, and if you lay your case out, and they're going to do a pro bono one, you might be the one they pick for that quarter, that half a year, the two they got to do.
Like, you're a shoe-in.
But we are interested. We got to get some other calls, of course.
Yeah, I'm sorry to keep you guys
No,
up.
brother, that was great.
Brother,
No.
That was awesome.
We want
Thank
the
you.
follow up. So call back when soon, before your next little appearance or whatever move you make. But keep us informed. Call back anytime. That is what this show's about, and we appreciate it, brother. And God bless you.
Airborne.
Keep the fight.
Yeah, God bless everyone, and remember, pray for each other.
All right.
Airborne.
Amen.
Just to let you know, guys, that was great. We let that flow. It was probably a little longer than what we want, but so call in, tell us what you got on your mind. Anything from political to things going on in your life like that.
Yeah, you
to,
heard it. Yep.
Questions for Woodman, Ben, or myself, whatever. Just let us know.
Call on in.
You're in.
Yep,
You're on. What's going on?
Hello there. My name's Michael Billington from the UK.
Hey.
I spoke to you the other day, I think.
Yes, we was expecting your call, Michael. What's going on, brother?
Well, there's a few things I'd like to talk about over here from the UK. We are watching America very, very closely, especially with Trump. And after 22 years of service in the British Army, I've seen a hell of a lot of things behind the doors. And I'll give you an example. There was a clipping in the paper where a young black boy was caught coming out of the Queen Mother's bedroom. And it was just washed off in the papers. Oh, it's okay, it's all a little joke and everything else, My thing is Jason Bourne couldn't get into the Queen Mother's bedroom. You understand?
Come on now.
That child was there for a reason. Period. And I'm not going to go into that. But anyway,
I got you.
I was highly embarrassed when the English people treated Trump on his first visit over here. And then when he came again after the Epstein saga that all came out, he was treated as if he was a king. They were licking his boots, let me tell you.
Wow.
So we are starting. There's a lot more people waking up over here. I was completely brainwashed as well.
No.
I sort of, when I joined the army, we have to swear to defend the Queen. I wanted to defend my country, not go and invade others.
Nice.
What really done me, and you can look this up, what really done me was in the Queen's speech on 2019. In the background of her speech, there's a golden piano. That was Saddam Hussein's solid gold piano.
Wow.
Now, if that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what else would.
Right.
You know where the power is coming from. Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Trust me, I could talk for weeks on this stuff. You know.
Now,
I go
what are
on.
your thoughts?
I was completely.
What are your thoughts on the
I've done
Brexit?
Hey,
all
Michael.
the way through.
Michael,
Went to wars. I lost friends, and it's not until you come out of the system and you go, hold on a minute. Even when I was at war, I was like, why am I here? These people just want peace. Enough is enough of this bloodshed and innocent lives that are being destroyed. And I think this is what Trump's about. And I watched his press. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much here, am I?
No, you're fine. You're fine.
No, go ahead.
Ben's got a question for you in a minute.
I'm trained in body language. You know, I've offered terrorists and real terrorists I'm talking about. Not made up ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, are you still there? Michael? Looks like we lost him.
Lost him.
Well, no worries, but
Wow.
hey, you know let's
right,
see if
we
he's
got
calling
There we
back.
go.
Nope. This is a Patriot Hour. You got Woodman, Ben, and Michael. What's going on?
Good morning.
Hi, I've been trying to call in for days. I have some information. Well, I have got a lot of information, actually. Some of the stuff that I really wanted to share with you was about the Pelosi family.
Okay.
First and foremost, I've been trying to get this information out. It's a huge conflict of interest right now, and I have reason to believe that this is the main reason why the FBI was put out an arrest or they put Nancy Pelosi's husband under investigation. So under the BAFT, BAFT, they call it BAFT, which is Bank of the Federal Trade, which is actually the Federal Reserve. They've got there's got board of executives that work, for the private banking system. And one of those executives, her name is Samantha Pelosi, and her actual title is Vice President of Payments and Innovation. So she's one of the directors that our congressional leaders will go to when they request funding for bills and such that they pass. So she would be going. It's not Nancy Pelosi's biological daughter, but it is Paul Pelosi, her husband. It's his biological daughter. Paul Pelosi is also one of the mobster banksters for the Federal Reserve. And that would explain why they were able to buy a house that was valued at over $15 million with a written check, and it's paid off. I mean, because Nancy Pelosi makes, I think her salary is $138,000 a year.
Yeah.
How many years would you have to work to be able to pay for a house? 40 years? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I've done some extensive research on that as well, and I've also concluded, because I pulled up meeting minutes from their board of executive meetings that they've had that have been archived and stuff.
Minutes read. The minutes read.
The meeting minutes.
Yeah.
The meeting minutes that were printed from their minutes, and it shows who was in attendance and everything. And they were in attendance with one of the meetings in an organization called IFSA. Now, IFSA is a foreign exchange student organization, because I went to their website and I'm thinking, what would the Bank of Federal Reserve have to do with foreign exchange students? But then I started thinking about, I don't know if you've heard about Nancy Schaefer. She's one of the senators that gave up her seat as senator to investigate our government for child trafficking. But her and her husband ended up she was the senator of Georgia. I forget which years it was, but if you look her up, Nancy Schaefer, her and her husband both ended up dead because she decided to give up her seat as senator to investigate our own government for the child trafficking. And so thinking about all of this and following a lot of the footsteps of what I was able to get out of the videos that I've watched on some of the speeches she gave, giving this information out that she's discovered. I have reason to believe, especially with these meeting minutes, that this might be the organization that our federal government or Federal Reserve is using to cover up the trafficking of children.
Wow.
Never-
Wow.
never-
That's
never
great.
know.
I would. That's a
I've
great
got
one. I
all
mean,
of the
they.
links and everything. I mean, if you have like a email or something, I can send you everything. I've done all of the legwork.
Yes.
I mean, I've done it all. You know, I've lost my house too to an illegal foreclosure and everything. I've been a targeted individual.
Wow.
I mean, I've literally, I paid on this house, never missed a payment or was late in 14 years. And I had an FHA mortgage. I paid over $107,000 in payments, and they took it right from under my feet. And, you know, you can't even find a lawyer because lawyers, they're all working with the same people that are doing this because they're all British accreditation registered.
Yeah, they're
So
all.
they're under the British. They're for the British. They're not even for America. So I've discovered, because I have a friend who is a senior paralegal, when you call any lawyer's office, the first thing they do is they ask you for your name and stuff because they look in the system and they're all connected. And, you know, and if your name has been red flagged in there, they won't help you.
Yeah, because they're going against their own system type thing. It's like their oath
And
is
so
to
that's
this.
why Trump started the American Bar Association.
Wow, that's crazy.
Not the British Accreditation Regency or the
Yes.
bar that every lawyer has to
They
attend.
are, yeah. And by the way, I live in Washington State, so like to be a registered lawyer here in this state, I live in one of 4 states in the United States that does not require to be a bar certified
That's right.
to be
Yeah.
a lawyer
Nice.
here. So what I did,
It's crazy how
there's a-
me and Ben have talked about this not too long ago. Just the whole bar thing and where it led back to. It's interesting. It's very something about
Yeah.
Puerto Rico, isn't it, Ben? Too. Puerto Rico is the.
Well, I know that a lot of them, the Bar Association, a lot of the payments get funneled through Puerto Rico because it's a territory of the District of Columbia. And we've known, Mike and I, we talk even in Woodman in the Garage Talk, that we're still ruled under Crown rules. We still have
Europe's
salvage. We
banister,
still have.
basically. It all goes back
Yep.
to Europe's banister.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, let me give you my email. It's just so you make sure you have this. It's the one that you'd want to use.
Okay.
What is it? Patriot. So it's Patriot Hour 2018.
2018.
And you put the 2018 in just, like with numbers. You don't have to spell it out.
2018.
Yeah.
Okay.
2018 at gmail.com. And just put something in your headline
okay.
there. You put with
So I have, you know what, I'm going to send you a lot of, I've been doing investigations for a long time because, you know, I've become a targeted individual myself, and some of this stuff is it's extreme. I mean, it's enough to put a grown man on his knees, and there's other people that have been famous that have actually that are directly involved in this as well.
Wow.
But I'm going to start sending you some information about just the things that I've gone through. I mean, this is besides being foreclosed on me illegally, wrongfully, and I've left.
Well, I would
stand on. You know what I mean? Like this is.
Yeah, send us what you got.
They are doing.
Because it's like it's with you guys, our listeners. We can't do all of this. We need people like you. So yeah, definitely send Mike what you got, and we can mill over it. Because who knows if this information is going to be getting lost. If whatever happens to you, to us, whatever. So if we can get it out there, that's why we love these call-ins, because you guys are awesome.
When I was on another topic that I think has a lot to do with what Trump has been saying a lot lately. I don't know if you've recognized he keeps saying witch trials. Okay, so I lost 3 ancestors to the Salem witch trials, and I've read a lot of research on this, and I've done probably more research than anybody I know, because I've lost my ancestors, my blood, my relatives, and I knew deep within my soul that they were not witches. You know what I mean? As all these books have indicated, they were partaking in witchcraft and all this other stuff. Well, I started doing some real deep research on it, and I found one resource actually, where I can prove exactly during the witch trials why they started, why these people were, everybody that lost their lives, the victims. None of them were witches at all. In fact, every one of them, if you look in the book of etymology, you look up their name has biblical stature. Every single one of them. There's one individual that was accused. His name was John Prosser, but he was let go and he wasn't hung as a witch because his name literally meant free man in the book of etymology.
Wow.
And also the witch trials 100 feet from the Masonic temple that stood there.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's like no surprise that the Masons are involved in this.
And
Yeah,
I think that a lot of things, like Kobe Bryant, I have, because I've, everything is in mathematics and the way these Satanists work.
Oh, I don't know what happened there.
Oh, I don't know what happened. Dropped him off.
This is the Patriot Hour. You got us. What's going on?
Right on. Hey, Patriot Hour. This is Shar from Patriots and Politics. I just wanted to
What's up, Shar?
give a general announcement that Congress needs 2020 census takers. So please, if you need some extra spare money or whatever, they're hiring part-time and full-time, temporary and permanent, supervisory, data entry, the actual field workers. And so it is very important, you guys, that we have a correct, or at least as close to accurate census as we can get this year. Now, I noticed in my state, which is Arizona, constitutional carry, woohoo, that the Democrats were holding job fairs to hire people to become census takers. And, so it is important. These are one of these things that I feel in this country that, if we can't all go to the gun rally, you know what I mean? There are these things, there are these cracks and crevices in our system that I feel like we can help provide, for. And I feel like another thing that we should be doing is, in 2020 elections, you guys, 3.2 million jobs are up for grabs during these elections, and that's just like elected positions. That's not even like the staffing positions. A vote for Trump is a vote for you. Run for your local offices. Trump almost lost in the districts. These small towns and things, I've noticed MSM is sliming out of the limelight, and they're trying to get into these positions. They're like, oh, well, we're coming home. We're coming home to our local area, and we're going to help, build the government in our area. Please, I've seen the Democrat, as a member of the Federalist Society, I've reviewed the game plan, what the Democrats' training and field manual is, and it's dang scary. I mean, they just won't.
It's a communist playbook. It's a communist playbook.
Oh my gosh. It looks like it makes Mein Kampf look like, child's play. I mean, they're just like, wow. They think of things that I just go, oh, we don't have these types of things set up on our side for the Republican side, to help train people in. And actually, you don't need training. Our founders made our government so simple. It is founded by the people. It is to be ran by the people. It is for the people. And there's supposed to be these rotating terms in between, and that's what curtails corruption, deep-seated corruption, this generational. And I think if we're ever going to have a huge change in this country, we have got to take back our small districts.
Yes.
We have got to get in touch with our communities again that way. And I just feel like there's going to be some major changes. Some people have approached me with the fact of like, well, what are we going to do if like the whole, all this government rolls over and stuff? And it's like, you guys, I don't think it could be any worse. I mean, obviously, America kind of runs itself, with all this corruption. So once this is cleared out, and simplified, and I do believe we need to downsize government, by the way.
Small government.
Big time.
Well, how do you have a census thing? You said something about it was very important when you kicked off. Or
it is.
Do you have a number, or how does somebody do that?
2020 census.
How does somebody do this? Like,
all you have to do is you can apply online. Just go online, and there's all of the job listings. I did a quick video on my channel.
Do you have the website where they can go online?
Yeah, you can go online. Just put in Census Taker 2020, Census 2020 job positions, and it's going to give you a whole list of what's available. These are data entry. These are field workers, supervisors, managers, the actual census takers. This work is temporary or permanent, part-time, full-time, flexible. Great pay, too, you guys. So we need to assure this accuracy with this,
Well, we appreciate... Hey, hold on here.
Getting heavy
Must be a
calling
time.
now.
Hey,
Can't even
must be
respond, but hey,
a
this is what it is. The Patriot Hour, you're on.
time
yeah.
limit.
Thank you.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Hey, my name is William, and I'm calling from the great state of West Virginia.
Hey,
And,
All right.
Putnam, I live in Putnam County,
Okay.
and I wanted to give you some news about our state. We have a Republican Governor, Jim Justice. Our House of Delegates have 100 members, which are 58 Republican, 41 Democrat, and 1 independent. We have 20 Republican senators and 14 Democrats. They have a bill going through the House Judiciary right now, House Bill 4168, which is very much identical to Missouri to preserve our rights to the Second Amendment.
All right.
Okay. That's a
So
good thing.
that's real good news, and I really think with our majority of Republicans, it will go through. Also, Putnam County on the 14th of January is the first county in West Virginia to become a Second Amendment sanctuary county.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Great,
It's actually going
great.
through. Wow. All right.
Well, me and Woodman were just down there in Richmond.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have liked to have been there.
Yep. No, but
Also, one more thing. We have a House Concurrent Resolution number 8 going through our legislation with 43 members already signed on, 40 of them being Republicans, to invite any county jurisdiction of the state of Virginia to leave Virginia and join our state. Just as we
Wow,
left
nice.
Virginia, just as we left Virginia on June 20th, 1863.
Yep.
wow.
That's how I came West
So I just
Virginia.
wanted to give you some information on what's going on here.
Thank
And,
you.
Maybe y'all could talk about that in the future on other shows.
Yeah, I got it written
I wanted
down.
to get the word out. I wanted to get the word out to your listeners.
Well, thank you so much, and
Thank
that's
you.
exactly what this is for. So call back at any time you have information, and we encourage all other listeners to do the same. If you got a little report from your area, we'd love to hear it. So thank you so
Yes,
much,
yes.
and
God
have a
bless
great
you so
day,
much,
and
brother.
God bless, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Fantastic.
That was great. Call in.
Yeah,
We
Yeah,
man.
you
still
guys,
got
these phone
time.
calls are, yep, coming
All right,
through
I'm
hard
gonna
and heavy.
let
We're
let
loving it.
Ben answer this one. So 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Patriot Hour. Thank you for calling. What's on your mind?
Thank you for calling.
Hello?
Hey, turn down your volume if you will on whatever device, but we hear you good. What's going on?
Yeah, what's going
Okay,
on?
can you hear me all right?
Oh yeah, we hear you good.
How are you guys doing?
We're doing all right.
Great.
Wonderful.
Great.
I would actually like to just say that, yeah, it's the local stuff, like with what's going on in Missouri, how they're trying to make that a Second Amendment state. It's just, hopefully, we can get this happening, in more and more places. It should be this way nationwide.
Yeah. No, I mean each
It was
state.
so good to see you all down there in
Yeah.
Virginia.
Did you get
All
to
right.
catch some of the footage?
Yeah, I saw footage. I saw you guys. Yeah,
Oh, did you?
Oh, it
you
was
were there.
great.
You were there
Yeah.
too. You were there.
of course I did.
Oh, nice. Oh, Ellie, right? You were having a good old time. It was nice having
Really hard
have
for
a
me to
team
hear,
out
and I don't
there.
have you up.
Oh, I can hear you. I can hear you good. You don't hear us?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, wow.
But a channel that's doing really well, if I could shout out a channel, is Truth, Money, Freedom. And it's Bill 588 in Missouri to make the whole state. Channel, Truth, Money, Freedom podcast. I've been doing podcasts with him for a year and a half.
What-
He actually went to lunch with the state rep. Some big people over there. The guy that drafted
Wow.
the bill.
All right.
So we need to act at a local level.
Your channel's doing
I
good
just
as well.
wanna-
I just was looking. Like I think that I don't know. It seemed like you went up 1,000 from the last time I looked, or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe I don't know. Somewhere it just looked like you're gaining a little bit. So that's awesome.
Great.
What else is going on? How's life?
I'm homeschooling, which is great. It's hard, but
Yeah.
it's worth it. If you're able to do it, I recommend it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. You know it.
Huh?
You're not teaching all the Common Core stuff, or what?
They are. You can oversee it and
Yes.
show them the right way.
That's right. Nope, that's awesome.
You know it. You know
And
it.
make sure you include, everything they leave out, which is a lot.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
so, hey, that's where it starts right there, doesn't it? In the home.
And even if
Family.
your kids do, yes, exactly. Even if they do go out to school, everything should stem from the home. And that's what they're trying to do, the breakdown of the traditional family. I mean, there's
Right.
only like 2% of people that are living that type of lifestyle, but yet they push it, in Hollywood and with these award
Oh
shows.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, awesome.
Wow.
Thanks for
Wow.
calling
I'm so
in.
glad. I just wanted to catch up to you guys. I meant to get up with you. I knew Simone's birthday just passed, so happy birthday to her.
Yes.
Oh,
All
happy
right.
birthday, yeah.
And I
Loving
love
all of our
Patriot.
mods,
I
by
love
the way.
Woodman. I love Ben. I love Michael, of course.
Oh, thank
Nice, nice.
Well, thank you very
you. We
much.
love
Always
you. We
awesome,
love you so
yes.
much, and thank you for calling in. And I think I got you saved in here now. So we'll talk to you soon. Call back and check in.
Have a great
All
day.
right, guys.
All
Bye,
right.
Chad.
All right.
Bye, guys.
All right, God bless.
Awesome. One of our mods.
Awesome. One of our
And
mods.
check her
for
channel
sure.
out as well, L1978. Somebody can drop the link. I mean, I don't have it like right here in front of me, and I'm not going to touch anything because the computer's running good. We want to get to a
Yeah,
few
zero
more
on.
calls. We're at 52 minutes in. I know we talked for 10. We'll say 10, so we'll run to about
Automatic shut off.
Hit him up,
Time
Woodman.
conserve.
Here you go, Woodman. You're answering in 3, 2, 1.
Blast off.
Welcome to the Patriot Hour. What's up there, everybody? Who I got here?
This is Pamela in Littleton, Colorado.
Hey, how's it going?
All right.
I'm doing well. How are y'all today?
Good.
Fantastic.
Wonderful.
Littleton, Colorado. What happened there? I can't remember.
So, Littleton, Colorado, we're a city on a hill surrounded by Democrats who want to take our gun rights and all that, same as any other state.
Oh
We're trying
boy.
to turn the Colorado red
At least you're up on the hill. You got the vantage point.
in loyalty to the flag.
Okay. Okay.
And I just had a couple thoughts where I've been following you guys. Thank you for being in Virginia. We might have to do that here in Colorado. We're trying to get Cory Gardner up there to, stay by the Trump agenda. We've got Polis, who's married to another. We have Bennett, who's I think he's trying to run for a Democrat president ticket. And we've got Diane DeGette. She's the one who slams that gavel down on every time we want to say something. She cuts us off with Nancy Pelosi. And I did want to mention in this trial, there's not 17 witnesses, there's 18. Attorney General Atkinson has testified, and they have not turned that testimony over. So when they're asking the Senate to bring forth witnesses, that testimony needs to be brought out before they call it the witnesses.
Okay.
And we have, in September, Colorado is having a Trump rally here in Colorado. I think it's going to be held in Colorado Springs, I can't remember. And we are the headquarters for Space Force.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Space
Colorado.
Force.
Wow.
Nice. I wonder if it's in Cheyenne Mountain out there in the Springs area, because I know Colorado Springs
Sure,
area's
I
got.
do. Yeah, we've been real military
yeah.
over here. I used to work out there at Lowry Air Force Base. Well, by there, I would
Yeah,
farm.
that's a great
Cut
place.
all the military hair out there. And,
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah.
Okay.
So,
A little high in tights and.
the only thing I don't like about Colorado is when you come in a helicopter or an airplane, our runways are in the shape of a Nazi flag. That
Oh, wow.
the swastika
Yep.
Wow.
That's the most, yep.
In-
Oh,
Has
yeah.
been done
Air
on
Force?
purpose.
need to be repainted.
Yeah.
It's right by the
Yes.
chapel too, which is funny. Out there in Lowry's Air Force Base. That's a great little place out there. That'd be awesome if it gets revamped into the Space
It's
Force.
all housing now out there. They took the base and moved it, and we've got that new big old airport out there. It's a wonderful city. We are working. Another thing I had called and said a prayer for you guys and mentioned that this Easter in Salt Lake City, they have the temple shut down for the next 4 years because they're going to earthquake proof it.
are going to go under there and put some springs underneath it, so if there's an
Really?
earthquake, the temple will stay firm. And I'm not really fond of Mitt Romney. I wish he would get voted out. Mike Lucy's kind of a fence rider, and I'm not real happy with him because these Republicans in name only, they are fence riders, and the Lord said, I will spew you out of my mouth, and if you lie, I'm going to thrust you down to hell. So we listen to the Lord's voice here in Littleton, Colorado, because I'm a patriot,
Great.
I'm a Republican, I'm Constitution, and I believe that we have a freedom of religion, speech, assembly, petition, and the right to bear arms.
There
We're
you go.
Americans, and the Democrats cannot destroy America. They can only destroy the Democrat Party.
There you go.
There you go.
That's a very
There you go.
powerful. Very. Do you know about
Amen to that.
DUMBs, deep underground military bases? Do you think you got any over there?
I do. Yes, I'm familiar. When we put up the casinos in, when we shut down up there in Central City, I had fired my uncle was a fire chief, my dad was a police sergeant, and so they kind of fed me some information about the different bases and things that we have here. We have El Chapo. Now, I think we got up and naughty the other day. Oh shoot! Now we got to support him too. Oh, Lord. And so I just keep saying prayers for what's important to me right now as a mother and a family. The opioid addiction got heroin into my child's system, and he's dangerous now. He is just the most dangerous person, and we need prayers.
Okay.
We need prayers here in Colorado to get the drugs off the street, get the people in rehabilitation, so that we can love our families back to life again.
Oh,
amen.
It is a horrible epidemic.
Well, God bless you, and thank you for calling in. That was a
thank you
great.
guys. I follow you and I pray for you all the time. And Pete Santilli is one of my other callers that I call into, and I love the new alternative platforms and the podcasts, and you guys getting out on the streets is kind of cool too. Watching you get in those crowds.
Thank you. We plan on doing more.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Peace out.
Oh yeah,
Thank
keep
you.
on being that light on the hill there in Littleton, Colorado.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Great little
Thank you
stories
very
from
much.
Littleton, but Little Town, USA. Let's do it, folks. So anything you got, we're going to take another call or two. We'll see time-wise. You're on the Patriot Hour. What's going on?
Hey, this is Sandy. I'm actually calling east of Colorado Springs.
Hey, Sandy.
Oh, all right.
Hi, Michael.
Colorado's in the house.
Probably, I don't know, a year and a half ago, something like that. It was when Trump had his photo on the Roosevelt.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha,
Anyway,
gotcha.
So I'm kind of chiming in with the Littleton, Colorado caller. I've got the 4 big bases around where I'm at right here. And as of late, I'm going to say like the last 6 months, Michael, there has been a lot of military, the jets, the choppers, different kinds of choppers, and there is some kind of a white plane that has been flying around here, and I know they've been seen in other areas. I cannot get the markings on it, and I don't see any markings on it. So I don't know what that is. The other thing is you were talking about the DUMBs. Absolutely, they're here. No question at all. The past 4 months, I have noticed that at nighttime there are noises that almost sound like a gas generator, and they're in all kind of different directions of me. And there were a couple of nights where I thought, are we having a tiny earthquake? I kind of felt like my couch was shaking just a tiny bit, just a tiny bit. And I got to thinking about it, and I thought, these noises, are they still digging underground? And I know that sounds silly, but yet at the same time, these noises are out there, and I've heard other people mention it. They don't go too far, but they mention it. And I thought, well, we got the Space Force out here now, and maybe there is something going on with that. What do you think?
Interesting, very interesting. No, we're keeping an eye on that when you guys call in. That's why we're asking. Dumbs, do you know about it? And are you hearing sounds throughout the night? Almost like, you know, you can.
Obviously, you are. So
yeah,
that's
there
what
you
we're
go.
here for.
And if something's coming out of the earth several miles down, it's going to take on a weird sound. You're going to get maybe vibrations if they're doing underground blasting. Who knows? So we're just keeping it in. And writing down
remodeling
notes.
Existing.
Mm-hmm.
Expanding. Something is happening. Something has changed. And there is, I'm actually, to be honest, considering highly moving away from Colorado.
Wow.
Just because of the lady from Littleton said, the state has changed so drastically. We have a good sheriff here in the county that I'm in, and it was about 7, probably 8 years ago, we were told there's already 4 cartels here. Now we have 5.
Wow.
And you know who the 5th one is. It is the new one. And what I have heard about this new cartel is that am I okay talking about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we're here. We're trying to get this information out to all.
We're just having a conversation with you, and
right. And
we got some people listening.
You know, what I've heard about this new one is that they want to hit rural areas to of course, pass their business along, and that they are the Navy SEALs of cartels.
Wow.
That is what
now these planes flying overhead, do they act like they're doing a grid pattern by any chance?
Are you talking about the drones? I've heard of the drones, and last night when I was outside, Michael Woodman and Ben, I went out to feed the horses, and there was an object not too far from my place, and it had more of a buzzy noise as opposed to what I hear as, you know, a jet, chopper, those types of planes in the air. And I know what they sound like. I've even been timing like, okay, here's how many seconds out do I look to see what it is. I've already got that down. And it's like, it was not that. It was very, very different. That was last night. So I don't know if it was flying it in that grid pattern, Ben, because once it gets up and over this little hill from me, I can no longer see it.
Okay.
Right.
But I do know that there are choppers that go over.
All white? You said all
long.
white? All white choppers, by the way, if you saw them in the day, or?
The one that I saw, okay, here's, I wish I could have gotten a video of this. I didn't get my phone out in time. This was probably, I'm going to say 2 months ago, and I've kind of been keeping an eye out for it. So let me back up. The one that I saw, the plane that I saw that is white with where I can't find markings, it's a plane. It's not a chopper. It looks like a plane. But a while back, I saw something go by, and it was no noise at all. And it looked like a rectangle L-shaped box. It was the weirdest thing.
Wow.
And I just thought, well, what the heck is that? But like I said, I did not get my phone out in time. I have not seen any white choppers yet. So with the chemtrail, with the with the trailing that they do out here, sometimes the skies are so full that you can't necessarily see what's up there. And I believe that there's a reason that they're doing that. Ever since there was the announcement that there was the possibility of the Space Force headquarters coming out here, in my mind, at least where I'm at, I can't speak for other areas, there has definitely been more spraying going on, and how it leaves it's like it's different. I should email you some of the photos from like 2018, 2019, and now that I've taken, right above my property. You'll laugh at this. There was one time I held a finger up, right, to the jet as it was going through, and it wasn't our military; it's the other one. And the next morning, I woke up and there was a sprayed X above my house.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. They're doing that, and who knows what their end game is in the whole spraying our skies. We know they're doing it. We don't know the end game, but it is crazy. I bet you're probably looking at more in the skies than you ever have been before in your life.
Oh, the last like 4 years or so, absolutely. And
Wow.
I tell my family's in Wisconsin, and I'm out here for a reason, because I can't talk to my family about any of this. They just don't want to hear it. They don't believe it. They're just anyway. So I always tell them, you have to remember, I'm almost 7,000 feet up. I see things differently than what you do at 900 feet. And they say, oh, no,
Makes
no,
a difference.
So,
You're right. No, elevation makes a difference. The old adage is the higher up on the life of the ladder you climb, a little bit more you can see. And that is true even in the physical world.
All right. Well, you are our last caller. We're going to let you go for today. We appreciate you calling in. How awesome that you're right next kind of to the last caller, a couple of towns over or whatever. So
yeah, no, it's awesome.
Great,
It's about
great.
3 hours south of her, about
Okay.
2.5, 3 hours south.
oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
Call-
I have the 4 bases, around me. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know.
Well, thank
but
you.
anyway,
Well, hang in there,
also,
honey.
Whitman and Ben, thank you so much for everything. Thank you for what you did
Yes.
in Virginia. Hail all patriots, and Trump, come on, let it go during that swamp.
All right. We appreciate it. Thank
All
you so
right.
much.
Yes, thank you, and
Thank
God
you.
bless you and
All
your
right.
family.
God bless.
All right.
Stay safe.
That was it, folks.
All
That's we ran out of
Very
time.
nice.
But guess what? There's good news. There's going to be another call-in show later tonight, like we promised. This was labeled as part 1, the AM show. I cannot give you an exact time on the PM show, but whatever works out, we'll do something. How awesome. You guys got any final thoughts on all the calls? I know we got lots of information.
think,
I got
Woodman?
notes
Go
everywhere.
ahead.
Well, I'm really glad they called in with all this information. It's some stuff we didn't know. Now we can go and investigate a little bit deeper too. Which I think is really fantastic. Just to even have these true patriots even paying attention to call in is just fantastic. I'm glad to be part of it. And I'm, like I say again, I am so glad you bring this information so we can put it out there also. And by you saying it even now, a lot of people have heard it all over the world. So great time. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time, and God bless you, man. Pray, always pray. You got to keep God on your side. The full armor of God, everybody. I'm not trying to push it real hard, but yes, I'm trying to push it real
Bless
hard.
it.
You
Yes,
better
that's what we
put that
believe.
on
Yes.
every morning when you put your undies
Every
on.
morning. No, I agree with you guys, man. I love the call-ins when we can be all part of the team here. It's awesome. I mean, you can't discount what good patriots are across the pond, across the state, locally. We always say, you start local, you keep with your family, you go out from there. And we're all a team here, so we love you guys calling in. And obviously today we're just trying to hot fire all the phone calls as fast as we can, get you guys in. And if you had more to say, like Mike said, there's a later on show tonight to get it out. And we love the fact we can have something like 500-600 of you guys here this morning with us, going through it and learning as well. So again, man, God bless you guys. God bless the Patriot, our team, as you guys do your thing and as we all get together. And yeah, this is for you guys. A lot of good stuff's coming up.
Yeah, like we promised, once a week, folks. We're going to do call-ins daily, but on those shows, we're going to keep it on topic of maybe the few things we're going over, what's happening that day, some article, some hot buzz, and we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to have you call in about that.
Hump day.
We don't want to, but if we get a call and it comes in on a other day of the week, if it hits us right and we want to keep on, but if it's wrong, we can possibly hang up on you real quick. And not to be rude, but we got to keep on focus and things that we got going on. Right. But on today, Wednesday, which we dedicated to the subscribers, to the members, to the Patriots in general.
Free for all, yeah.
Free for all.
That's our.
And you got even issues of, we don't want to have to get too Delilah around here. I don't get to play a lot of music, so I can't. But we'll try to work with you. So
we try real hard, man. That's for sure.
Again, the number one call-in show on YouTube, right here, the Patriot Hour. Oops, sorry, did it again. There's Woodman. There's Woodman. There's Ben. This is the team for the call-ins. This is what we do on Wednesdays. Again, we're the number one, voted by you guys, the members, the subscribers. Why not? Number one call-in show. You're the host of it, by the way, because you're leading the call. We're just kind of feeding back with you. So we'll help. We'll do that at least every Wednesday. And again, this evening, we'll try to do it twice a day in the same day on Wednesdays. Total request call-in show. Something we can do for you guys to give back. We've been trying to come up with something on that kind of level, and it looks like we did. So, hope you liked it. And
yes, awesome.
Hey, the ironic,
Awesome,
somebody put like Delilah, or I had said Delilah. It's, hey, she was on that. I think her studio was down in her basement. She's down there taking all these calls, saving the world on her level, which is great. I mean, my whole time in the service, driving, the times I've drove, that would come on because it's evening. If you're on any place, East Coast or the West, you're going to hear it. But I did hear that her own son committed suicide, so it's kind of an ironic thing.
Oh wow!
To be, but I think she was like a foster mother or an adopted lots of kids. So I think it was an adopted or one of her foster kids. Unfortunate. Now this is years ago, I believe. I don't know. Somebody else probably knows more than me. On that topic. Wow. But all right, guys, let's get this one done. Woodman, Ben. You guys,
everybody, enjoy the day.
Yes.
Thank you for the call-ins. Thank you so much for the call-ins, man. God bless these guys.
Keep on fighting. Keep on calling in.
Yeah.
Keep on calling in too.
That guy over there.
Yeah. There.
Right. We'll see you guys back here real soon. Over
All
here.
right, have a good one.
There. They can still hear us.
Oh yeah. Hey man, this is a great show. Man,
great show.
Awesome Patriots. Look, we got everything from all of our mods,
the mods, Susan, Wendy Rosebud,
USMC Lambo.
Come on, shout it out here. We're Florida.
Donna
I see
Dillon,
Florida.
we got Gray Ledbetter and
Donna Dillon loves the Patriot Hour. Get you some Patriot Hour.
I love you guys, Joanne Basta. Love you too.
Wendy
Deborah
Rosebud.
Williams, we sure can.
Love your voice, Sir Michael. Well, I love your face, Wendy Rosebud.
Suzanne Q. Ohio. What up, Grillin'?
Kisses right back at you.
He said number one voted show on YouTube, so I agree with you, Dave V. Get more votes on the number one call-in on all of YouTube and the broadcasting platforms.
If this is the number
Darren Carson
one
from Belfast, you're awesome,
Darren.
brother.
If we're the number one, shout out a number one. Put a number one up there for us.
And if we're number two, you can say that too. It's all good.
Hey, if we're number two, put number two down and tell us who's
Grillin just said the Patriot Hour's number one call-in show as by our polls. I would agree 100%, Grillin. We are taking polls now. I'm seeing ones all across the board. You see, you guys, when we do a vote, we make sure it's the people. We try
it's official.
Tell our vote. It's official.
It's official now.
We're just here to signify and to solidify our status being voted.
I don't know
the polls. It's on record.
If we'll ever take another poll. We'll stick with this one. This is probably the last one. We'll just refer to this one if we ever refer
to this one.
referring
We
back.
can all say, you remember
In
that time,
time.
the place, with the thing.
Can go back in time.
I love you guys, man. It's great.
I love you, brother.
All
Talk
right,
to you
have a
guys
good one,
soon.
man. God bless, man.